What's up guys, Armada here, and in today's video we are gonna talk about Inkling and an Inkling guide for how to play the character. So to start off with the basics, Inkling have an ink meter, and some people that might not be familiar with the character and the concept, we're gonna go over all of this before we go into the little bit more specific details of how to play neutral game, punishes, how to land rollers, edge guards, and so on. So the ink meter basically it comes down to certain moves with Inkling. When you use them, waste meter, such as jab, roller, and so on. And if you land moves that have ink, the opponent will actually take additional damage if they are getting attacked while having ink on them. So that's very important to keep in mind. If you can land ink on opponents, then that's really good. Another basic thing that we need to go over as well, that I've actually gotten asked quite a few times on my stream, is that how do you refill the ink tank if it's not empty? And it's very simple. You hold shield, and then after you do that you hold B, and then whenever you want to stop, full up the meter, then you stop holding B. The next thing we're gonna go over as well is how to cancel the roller. Roller being one of the best moves that Inkling does have, leading to some crazy punishes and kills. So yeah, let's go over that. You can cancel the roller in two ways, and one of these ways to cancel the roller is that you can jump out. And right after you do the side B, if you hold in Y, X, or up on the control stick, you can jump out as soon as possible. You buffer a jump that comes out at the first available frame. If you do not want to jump out right away, you can also press one of these buttons whenever you want, pretty much. It's a small window at the start of the roller, and if you press jump during that period of time, then you're not going to get a jump at all. So if you know that you want to jump out of the roller early, holding one of these buttons will buffer a jump at frame 1. But if you want to stay for a bit longer, then I would recommend you to press the button once you want to jump out. If you do not get a jump out, you pressed before the character could jump out. So keep that in mind if you are stuck in the roller and you do not know why. The next way you can cancel the roller is by staying on the ground, and it's many ways to do this. One thing that I like to do here is that when you do the roller and you press forward B to pull the move off, you can actually start holding different buttons like A, you can hold Z, for example. And for me personally, I actually like to hold Z because it can be pretty hard to hold side B and then tap again for B, or press A at the same time, or hold A, since you need to use one thumb for both B and A then. So I personally like to do C, and if you do this method, you will cancel the roller by staying grounded, which in my experience actually is quite a bit better in most scenarios if you want to land a strong up smash or F smash, for example, after the roller. Another thing we also talked about was people missing tech on purpose against Inkling to not get grounded by the roller. This also means that you as an Inkling, if you think they're gonna miss tech, you can actually get up to them in time a lot of times and do double jab into F smash. So keep in mind that if you think that they're gonna miss tech, you can do double jab into F smash. You can also do double jab and try to take a tech chase scenario from there. Of course, it would be the best for Inkling mains if people always tech, so you had the opportunity to get the roller right away. But that's not going to be the case. So it's important to be ahead of the curve and keep them on their toes. The next section we're going to go over is the neutral game for Inkling, and Inkling does have a lot of interesting and good tools in neutral game if you ask me. Of course, neutral game depends a lot on what character you're playing against, because their strengths and weaknesses are different, so you need to play accordingly. But we're going to go over some general concepts. Dash dancing being very important. Inkling have a really good dash. Dashing away from people can be really good if they're trying to attack you. A lot of people, when they do try to attack, they are trying to attack where you currently are located. So if you dash away, letting them whiff their move, you can often come back in right after. For example, with a dash attack, a grab, many options available there for sure. Dash dancing can also be used to slowly taking space from your opponent, kind of like leading up to like this situation of the person getting the first hit, and people are trying to space around each other's moves, so you can slowly but surely take space in any matchups, to be honest, using dashes. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Another very interesting factor with Inkling as well when it comes to the dash animation is that Inkling actually is super low to the ground while dashing. And as you guys can see here, it's quite a few examples of Inkling's dash going under many moves. Projectiles like King K rolls, a neutral B for example, or even Simon or Richter's forward tilt. Inkling's dash is so low that it actually sneaks under, which can lead to grabs for example, but also a lot of other things. You can dash under and quickly put out a roller for example. A lot of opportunities here, so keep this in mind. This is probably going to be one of the more interesting parts of the character for me personally, because this dash is so unique compared to other characters in Smash period. The next part we're going to go over in neutral game is Inkling's backer. This is a really good tool as well. A backer being pretty quick, it's safe and shield if you space it, and the backer also leads to quite a few things. If your opponent have mid damage like around 30-40, it often connects into a grab, which also lead to pretty strong punishes, up throw up airs, down throw nairs that we're gonna go over in the punish game section. Bear can also, at lower damage, bait out grabs from people. You backer, you wait for their grab to whiff, and then you come back in with a move. Bear can also occasionally lead to jab, and jab, while might not sound like an interesting punish at first, it does ink your opponent, so it can be a good investment for, you know, the rest of the match, because your opponent will be inked for a while, and it actually gives quite a lot of damage. It does give quite a lot of damage, so keep that in mind. The next move we're gonna go over is the ink bombs. These are really matchup dependent, I would say. In my experience, I would say the ink bombs are better against more of the heavy characters in neutral that can't really slowly get in against you. King K roll, a good example here as well in my experience. Keep in mind, a lot of these matchups I have not been playing too much, so a lot of this is early theories as well. But I would say that the ink bomb seems to be better traditionally against slower characters, because it takes a while to get the bombs out, especially if you want to charge them up by holding in the motion for throwing the bomb. So yeah, keep that in mind as well. And also the ink bomb, it leads to your opponent getting inked, so that's also very good. The next move we're gonna go over for neutral game is down tilt. Down tilt, a little bit similar to the dash. Inkling is very low to the ground while doing down tilt, so it's hard to hit Inkling. Not as hard as the dash. At least my opponents, in my experience, have not had nearly hard enough time on punishing that compared to the dash, but still low profile, hard to hit for sure. And the down tilt also lead to many interesting tech chases that we're also going to go over in the punish game section of this guide. So yeah, I would say these are the main tools in neutral: the dashes, dash dancing, going under certain projectiles and moves, the backer, the ink bombs, and the down tilt. The next part we're gonna go over are punishes, and the first one we're gonna start off with is one of the more bread and butter for Inkling, up throw up air. Up throw up air being good at low damage, giving a quick 20-ish damage, and the up throw up air actually is also a kill confirm. How long the kill confirm works is entirely based on the character. We're gonna link you to a chart in the section below the video, so check that out if you want to know specific details for when each character roughly dies from up throw up air. Other punishes are the roller, and when you land the roller, this is also a very common question that people ask me: why do I go for up smash sometimes, and why do I go for F smash sometimes? So the thing is, when you do land the roller, up smash is stronger, and in more cases kill more often. If you're right next by the ledge, then F smash might be better just because you're closer to the blast zone. But normally, let's say you're relatively center stage or close to it, then up smash does kill earlier, but Inkling's up smash have one weak hit and a strong hit. And against certain characters, the weak hit connects into the strong hit if you space yourself correctly, slightly to the side of the character. So you don't want to be too close and not too far away from the character. And when you do this, the weak hit connects into the strong hit against some characters. Against some characters, it does not. And against these characters, you would rather F smash. And here you can see some characters or all the characters when F smash works and when up smash works. I have not confirmed that this chart is 100% correctly, but just looking at it, I can tell many characters for sure in my experience where up smash and F smash makes absolutely sense based on my experience. So I would trust that this chart is either absolutely correctly or really close to correctly. In the future I will be able to confirm it for sure, but I have not had the chance to play against all characters yet, not a lot at the very least. The next part we're gonna go over is more roller stuff, but more related to lower damage if you land the roller. Here are some examples of combos you can do, percentages also based again on characters you're playing against. But here are some examples. Against Marth, at around 15%, if you land roller, you can cancel your jump out of it, doing a backer, and then roller back again, and then connecting to a nair. And if you have slightly more damage, at 23% in this recorded case, you can do roller backer and then roller up air. So also leads to a lot of damage. And another example is roller and then down tilt. And the down tilt sets up for a new tech chase, which can lead to maybe double jab F smash, maybe a tech chase scenario into a new roller. It's a lot of opportunities and possibilities here, and I'm super excited to see how far we can push a lot of these combos. For me personally, I think keeping your opponents to the ground so you get opportunities to tech chase with the threat of the roller is going to be super big for this character. So the more setups you can find yourself as well, the more you will help out all Inklings to push this character's punish game. But one of my theories is for sure that tech chases is the way to go for this character. The next part we're going to go over is down throw stuff. Down throws also, again, depending on the weight class of your opponent's character, but roughly around 30% works against quite a lot of characters. You can do some combinations like down throw, nair, down tilt, which sets up for a tech chase, which can lead to roller if they tech. If they do not tech, you would rather go for a double jab F smash. Sometimes if the stage have enough space, you can actually go for the 3 jabs, so the stronger hits knock them away and leads to another tech chase scenario. This example that we're showing here is pretty long, very wide, so it, like the entire sequence here might not work in all stages. The point is that the 3rd jab can set up for a new tech chase scenario if the stage is wide enough, so keep that in mind as well. And for tech chases as well, very important is that a lot of Inklings moves knock you down, so that also lead to tech chases. Forward air, strong forward air, weak forward air, strong backer, weak backer, F tilt, down tilt. A lot of these moves knocks over and your opponent lands on the ground before they can actually jump. So these are the situations you want to look for. So really strong punishes overall, if you ask me. Alright, so now we're coming to this section of the video that I think will spread both a lot of love for the Inkling mains and a lot of hate from the non-Inkling mains. I'm sorry guys, but not really. I actually love this character. So we're gonna go over some concepts of how to land a roller. Some Inkling mains have asked me, how do I land rollers? What am I looking for? Because a lot of Inkling mains have noticed that the more they have played against people, the better they get at avoiding the roller. Some of them might not be super strong at punishing the roller, but people are getting better in that regard as well. So for me personally, I very early started to test out new ways of landing roller. Some of these are really situational, but some of them are general concepts that are how you land most of your rollers. So we're gonna go over them. One of the main things is catching landings. If you have opponents landing with an aerial, based on the move, based on the speed, you have different timings and different windows for how big of a margin you have to land a roller. And as you can see here, many different moves they are landing with, and you sneak in with a roller. This is not like a guaranteed setup. They might do an empty, like falling down to the ground and then shield, for example, to bait the roller out. So it's not like it doesn't have counterplay, but overall catching landings with aerials is a good way trying to sneak in with the roller. Another one of the more common ways of landing the roller is to catch tech in place, tech roll in, or tech roll away. This means that a lot of people that have experience against Inkling might miss tech on purpose. Because if you get hit by the roller when you have missed a tech, when you're laying on your stomach or on the back, you will actually not get grounded. So some people might think that, oh, but then I always miss tech. We're gonna go over why that's not always gonna be the case against Inkling. But for now, showing examples of tech in place, tech roll in, and tech roll away can all be punished by the roller. This also depends, of course, on the spacing. How far away are you from your opponent when they get to tech? So it's really important to know the timings and spacings for when you have enough time to catch up to their tech roll animations. Another important concept is also that you're tricky with your dashes and dash dancing. Maybe you catch someone trying to move towards you and you throw out a roller in their face, kind of like fighting fire with fire. They want to go in, but you counterattack super quickly. If you have a slow character that you think will try to run away from you on close distance, you can do a roller and catch up to their speed. This doesn't really work against characters that are equally as fast or faster than the roller, because they will just keep running away from you. But if you play against a slower character, then even if you're slightly behind, you will catch up to them pretty quickly. So that's important to keep in mind, how fast are their character relative to the roller. And here we're gonna go over some of the more super specific setups that I did get. Like, I got these ideas while playing on stream. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think about this. But yeah, let's get into it. One of the things that crossed my mind is that seeing a lot of people ledge trapped in this game, they stand next to the ledge and they shield, trying to guard their opponent from getting back to the stage. And I've also learned that a lot of these options from the ledge, the Pro Smash 4 players reacted to a lot of these options. So I figured that if they react to people doing get up attack, for example, is it possible that I can parry the get up attack and then get a roller? And it turns out that you can, at the very least against some characters. I've not tested this against all characters in the game, but I did test this with Istudging when he was in Sweden and we boot camped. And at the very least it works against Greninja, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna work against most, if not all, characters. So pretty specific setup, but that's pretty interesting. You can also, if you read the roll in from the ledge, you can also turn around or do the roller in that direction, right? Another one that's also pretty tricky, also a hard read, and the timing is really tight, but it also does work, is that if someone is trying to run towards you and grab, you can actually spot dodge super early, dodging the grab and get the roller out before they can buffer a shield. Buffer a shield meaning they get the shield up on the first available frame. So if you do spot dodge really early to dodge their grab, you can actually land a roller. And once again, really specific, and you need to have the hard read for it. But an additional way of getting the roller. This one is actually not as uncommon to get, at least not against worse players, but better players would probably catch on to it pretty quickly. But if your opponent is doing rapid jabs, you can actually drop your shield and roller before they can get their shield up. This also might be character dependent. This is another one I tested against Istudging when we grinded in Sweden at the boot camp. So I know that it does work against Greninja, but I'm pretty sure it's working against most characters. Most good players are probably not gonna fall for this one. They're probably not gonna do the rapid jabs on shield, but in case they do, you have a roller punish there. And this one is tricky. This one is tricky, but super interesting if you ask me. So during a lot of punishes in the air that Inkling does have, some of them are not entirely true. You can air dodge through a double nair setup in the air, for example, or backer to backer. So I've noticed that a lot of people start to air dodge against me to escape my second move. But then I was thinking, if they air dodge on stage, what if I wait after my first aerial and then I roll towards the stage? I do the roller towards the stage and catch their air dodge when they land on stage. And once again, this setup is also working. You need to have the read that they will air dodge and that they will air dodge towards the stage, and they also need to land, and so it's pretty specific setup, but another way to land the roller. And I think for Inkling mains it's going to be very important to find new ways of landing rollers, catching people by surprise, keeping them on their toes, because the threat of the roller will mean that this air dodge, for example, they might not go for the air dodge because they're afraid of the roller. But if they don't go for the air dodge, well, then you can do the backer. So it leads to a lot of interesting 50-50 mix-ups where they have to guess, will he go for the roller or will he go for the aerial? So yeah, that's one more of my current setups. I'm also working on finding more, but these are some of the examples I do have right now. Edge guards, that's something Inkling is also pretty good at, for sure. Inkling having a very long up B, which means that you can go very far off stage to hit opponents. Inkling doesn't fall super fast either, so that also helps for edge guarding. And ink bombs can be pretty good for this, especially if you have characters that traditionally get to recover from below, or want to recover from below. King K. Rool being an example here again, often going low, his up B having huge range and priority, so ink bombs can be your best tool to set up for edge guards against him, for example. But against most characters, I would say when they get knocked off stage, and they will end up high in the corner, traditionally you want to be diagonally below them, try to sneak in a fair, a backer, something of the sort. Inkling's backer quick and can often lead to multiple backers itself. This is an area I highly encourage all of you guys out there to test a lot in friendlies. Don't be afraid of going off stage. Even if you die, doesn't really matter. Like, for each SD you take in practice, that's one SD less you will take in tournament matches. So don't be afraid to go out there, test it out, and we are showing some examples that you guys can see here. Try to stay out of your opponent's range and then sneak in, but you have to mix up your timing. You can't always try to hit them super early or super late. It's all about being a little bit tricky and having the right spacing. That also depends on what moves do they have that they can fast fall and fall down with quickly. So that changes the spacing you want to keep between yourself and your opponent. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to support me and the content we make over here. And have a nice day, everyone. Peace.